Previously on the Ford Show.
And for the last 3 or 4 months, you guys keep sending me something in the mail from offering me a $25,000 loan. Well, I don't know what fucking state or world you fucking assholes live in, but there ain't nobody out there that's gonna fucking take a letter from you that looks like a fucking check, making them think that they've got something coming in the mail. So take my fucking name off your goddamn list and stick me in your training never to call or send letters to people like me again. Understand?
You seem very happy.
Yeah, whatever, dick shit. Go fuck yourself in the bathroom. That's probably all you get paid for.
How else did that call go for you? Was that
the end of it.
That was the end of it?
That was it.
Did you take her off the list?
No.
Welcome to The Ford Show.
Yeah. Welcome to The Ford Show. I am Ford. I am joined this week. It's a full staff. Finally, it's a full show. Oh, there is a God. Finally. I am joined here. Joey Vegas is here. Vegas?
Yes, I'm here, and there is...
sorry
are you
about
sure
that.
there's a God?
Yeah, I had you muted, Vegas. Can you try it again?
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Way to go.
Vegas is here. No, and I'm not sure there's a God. And Madness is here as well. Madness.
Of course there's a God. I'm sitting right here.
All right, there we go. Didn't take long for that to... Yeah, all right. Ford, yeah, that's me. Follow on X at Ford Talks a Lot. Vegas is on X at Joey S. Vegas. And Madness is on X and Instagram at MFS Wellness. You can subscribe to the show on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, please. If you're not, we're on YouTube at Radio Ford. We are also on Rumble, and I believe we're live right now on Rumble at Radio Ford. If you want to help support the show, you could do so. Patreon.com/Radio Ford. You get the gimmick here. And if you don't want to do any of that, maybe just want to slide us a little $5 on Venmo. It's also at Radio Ford if you want to help support the show. I know last week I said that this week I would have a new hat to show you guys, some new merch. But because we're doing the show 2 days earlier than I thought we were going to, there is no hat this week. There will be a hat next week. We got a lot to get to, and I know we have very little time to do it. I've had nothing but great feedback about the show last week, despite the little audio snafu on the Madness volume. I think we have that corrected.
Let's hope so. Hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yeah, we're about to find out if there's a God or not, if there's an audio God who spared us this week. But I have something. I want to get right into it. I have some audio of Jesus. Well, we got an action-packed show, by the way. I forgot to mention. We got ADD News here, the headlines in 60 seconds. Rage and Rob is here with his Music Minute. We got Vegas's Picks of the Week. And then Madness has some stuff that we were supposed to do last week that we didn't get to because we ran out of time. So we're going to try to get to all of that this week, not to mention everything else that we're going to talk about. So let's get right to it. I have some audio, a 911 call. And I can't even believe that I get to be the podcast that gets to talk about this. But we have a 911 call when Jesus, that's right, Jesus Christ, he robbed a pizza joint. I got 911 audio. This is exclusive, by the way.
High Point 911, what is your emergency? Yes, this is Jesus Christ, and I just broke into the Pizza Hut. I broke the window in. I'm here. Jesus is here now. He's back to earth.
All right. And so you don't work there?
No, I just broke in. Had a pizza. I'm Jesus.
And what was your name again?
My name is Jesus.
What's your last name, Jesus?
Christ.
Okay. And what do you look like?
I look like Jesus. What else do I supposed to look
what
like?
the hell?
Why'd you do that?
Because I'm Jesus. I can do whatever I want. We're tired of Judases on this earth. We're going to clean this earth up. So what are you up to?
Man, where do you live at?
I don't. I'm from heaven.
How'd you get over to the Pizza Hut?
I'm from heaven, sir.
Okay. And did you break a front window?
Yeah, I broke the door window, sir.
And did you eat a pizza?
Yeah, had a Mountain Dew.
So you know what I did, Vegas? I had to do this.
Yeah, had a Mountain Dew.
Yeah, that's a new clip that we're going to play.
Yeah, had a Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Well,
Jesus
if it was Jesus, it should have been Mountain Jew. But whatever.
Oh,
True.
And Jesus wouldn't go to Pizza Hut. I'm sorry. Jesus is more of a Little Caesars type.
Yeah, I thought that's hilarious. Jesus Christ. And he stuck to it. Well, what do you look like, sir? I look like Jesus.
I mean, the guy. I mean, my only question is, if Jesus Christ, why did he need to break the window? He could have probably just popped in there.
Could have just walked right in.
Yeah, you could just walk right through it like he did in the tomb. Just kind of walked in and out.
But I love the alarm going off in the background.
Screaming.
Yeah. Like, yeah. I broke into a Pizza Hut, had a pizza and a Mountain Dew.
You know, what's crazy is these 911 dispatchers, they deal with more of this kind of crap than they do like actual emergencies, I think. Or just like people calling out of the blue for some kind of bullshit, and they have to just kind of like humor the shit through. It's kind of ridiculous if you think about it.
Truly. Now I have this. Let me show you. I can show you what the guy looks like. Here. I was going to put it on the screen, but I have to do it the hard way here. All right, so here he is right here.
I mean, if he grew a little more of a beard and grew his hair out, I could see the Jesus thing. I mean,
he looks more like Hugh Jackman on crack.
Oh, true. I could see that.
Yeah.
But this is the guy that called.
What if this is Jesus, though? What if this is the second coming? What if this is what we've all been waiting for? What if this is all that church, the 2,000 plus years of sitting there on pews, kneeling, standing, sitting, kneeling, standing, sitting, gospel, homily, boom, out, in, out, Sunday, brunch. That's what this is all about. And here he is.
Here's the side-by-side. I never thought I'd be doing a side-by-side with Jesus Christ and some guy who broke into a Pizza Hut, but here we are. This is I mean, I can kind of see it.
He looks a little more tired now than then. But
well, I mean, millions of years will do that to you.
It's not millions, it's been thousands.
Whatever.
How long has it been?
2,000 years.
That's it?
Well, what did they do after death? Yeah,
and then
it's been 2,024 years. Isn't it funny how there's all these different religions, yet we all just kind of agree to follow the year is when Jesus died? Isn't that funny?
Well, I don't follow anything.
Well, no, you're the one that texts us army time and you never served a fucking minute in your life.
It's not army time.
They call it army time.
No, they don't. It's
yes, they do.
Clock.
Whatever. It's been known as army time since I was a young kid.
Only in this dumb country.
No.
And you go out, you actually wait a minute. Let me tell you people something. This guy with this pink background over here and his ridiculous looking Knicks hat. He texts us the time to start in army time, 24-hour clock, whatever you want to call it. Now, let me ask you a question, Ford.
Yeah.
Do you do that just with us, or do you actually like talk to people like that? Like, do you like you're talking to somebody at work? Do you like tell them that we're going to meet at 1300 hours? Like, do you say that to them?
Yeah. Well, because
what do they do when you say that? Do they look at you like what the fuck? Like, there's a dick growing out of your nose?
They do quick math.
No, literally, there's no chance that like you go up to somebody right now and say, "Meet me at 1500 hours." They just gonna go, "Okay, I'll see you at 3."
I think it's more accepted than you think.
It's not.
Like that.
It's not at all. No one does it.
No, I wouldn't say. Okay,
if you're talking, listen.
I can definitely prove the answer is not no one.
I swear to God, like I never really want to like reach through the phone and slap somebody. But when you told me to sign on at 1,500 hours or whatever the hell that was, I was like, I gotta slap this man.
Like I know people that are firefighters, okay, that use the military time,
24-hour clock. That's what it
whatever.
is.
It's military.
You guys
time.
realize
military time. I said army time. Same shit.
So they use it in the fire. So they use it in the fire service, right? But when they're talking to us non-military or public service personnel, they say 3 p.m., 4 p.m. Because I guarantee you, if you, Ford, talked to that lady that swore up and down and said that you jerk off in the bathroom on the company time, if you said, well, ma'am, call me back at 1500 hours, she's going to say, huh?
No.
She's going to have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, here's the
exactly.
Deal.
You go to work at 0800 hours? Is that what you do? You show up at 0800 hours?
Here's the deal. I like 24-hour clock. I like using the 24-hour clock. I talk to you guys in 24-hour clock because I know it bothers you. So to answer your question, no, you two are the only jerk-offs that I talk to in 24-hour clock because I know it just grinds your gears.
It doesn't bother me. It makes you look like an idiot. It makes you look like you try too hard to be fucking different. And you got to talk in this army, and you also say process instead of process, even though I know you're saying it the fucking correct way technically, but no one says process.
I've been saying it like that for
that in the UK.
I can't not change that. It's been process and progress for 20 years. That ain't going away. But the 24-hour clock, I can't show you because my phone is now my webcam, but my phone is truly set to 24-hour clock.
It is.
What did you do? Like, when did you decide to do that? Like, what went through your little brain and made you want to do that?
So is my. I don't know if you could see it there. My watch.
No, we can't see that at all. Like, not even close.
Okay, well, take it easy. I didn't know.
If you could have had a picture of your bare ass on that, I would have known. Well, now I would have.
So there you go. So to answer your question, it's been this way for a while. I didn't mark the calendar on when I made the official switch, but I like it because you don't have to talk in PM or AM. It's the number. It's 4 a.m. If I use the number 4, it's 4 a.m. If I use 1600, it's 4 p.m. I like 24-hour clock. I wish this country wouldn't have tried to be so different, right? Because this is the only country in the world that doesn't do 24-hour clock, doesn't do the metric system. The Americans are the ones that tried to be different, as you just accused me of being, when all actuality, it's the Americans that were different because everywhere else in this world, as you breathe harder into your microphone, everywhere else.
He's yawning because your story is boring the shit out of me. And Joey Vegas, I think we should stop paying any attention to him when he sends over anything in military, army, 24-hour clock time.
I agree. And not every other country in the world uses the 24-hour clock. They still use AM and PM.
Yes. I absolutely. I talk to people in other countries all the time, and they don't speak in 1800 hours.
We will agree to disagree. All right.
No. You pull out the agree to disagree thing when you realize you're wrong, and that's everyone's little cop out is we'll agree to disagree. No, you're fucking wrong, and you're not admitting it.
It's used in hospitals. It's used by firefighters, and it's used in other countries, just like the metric system is used in all the other countries. You talk to anybody in Japan. You go to Japan. It's in 24-hour clock. I'm sorry.
I'm not
sorry.
Though. It's
not sorry about anything.
We went to Japan, and not everyone was in 24-hour time.
No, obviously, if they had like the arm clocks, obviously.
I've been to about 11 countries in Europe, and not once did I see a 24-hour clock.
All right. Well, my cell phone's going to stay with the 24-hour clock.
Good for you.
All right.
You don't have to deal with it anymore.
There's a parent, a set of Utah parents. Let's get this show on the road here. A set of Utah parents have been accused of raping their 15-year-old daughter to teach her, claiming it was safer than sex with strangers. A mother and stepfather, thank God it's a stepfather at least, from Utah were arrested for allegedly raping their 15-year-old daughter. They wanted to teach her about intercourse because it was safer than her having sex with strangers. The teen called police on Thursday and told them that her father had been raping her for at least a year and a half. The couple, both in their 30s, allegedly admitted to the disturbing crimes during the interview with police, saying they believed that it would be safer for her than having sex with strangers. The daughter was allegedly first approached at the young age of 14 by her parents with the proposition after her mother learned the victim was wanting to meet and have sex with strangers. The mother found online chats and Snapchat photos of the girl in sexual situations. The mother allegedly also told police that the girl only watched them have sex. About 2 months ago, the teenager reportedly approached her mother about a broken condom. And when the mother of 5 approached her husband, he denied having full intercourse with the victim. Apparently, full intercourse would be ejaculating. I guess that would be this was only half intercourse. However, the father allegedly admitted to police, I had sex with a 15-year-old. When paramedics arrived at their home Thursday, the girl told authorities about the abuse, which she said her mother was definitely aware of. Provo police arrested the parents and charged them with forcible sodomy, object rape, and forcible sexual abuse. The stepfather faces additional charges of rape and being a creep. And they are being held at the Utah County Jail without bail due to the substantial risk they pose to their existing children. So I guess the plus side to this, if there's a plus side, is the fact that it's a stepfather and not an actual father. So I guess that's like a plus. I guess it's not a mother and a biological father.
Look at you trying to find a silver lining in this fucking disgusting story, but geez.
Horrible. I mean, I only say that because the way that the headline would read, it would have you read that the mother and the father were tag teaming this 15-year-old girl.
Being the only father on the panel, it does make a difference because there's a whole different sickness to it otherwise.
Well, I'm actually a stepfather, and I could never imagine participating in something like this. Vegas, you like them young, but I think you draw the line at 15.
Yeah, that's a little too young.
Yeah.
That in itself will get you locked up, regardless of the rape allegation.
That is,
yeah,
that's an unfortunate situation. I'll tell you.
Yeah. So you just woke up today and wanted to share this disgustingly disturbing story here, and just make me feel all uncomfortable and gross.
This is BBC News. The headlines. As the first ship bringing aid to Gaza unloads its supplies, the US and UN renew warnings about an Israeli offensive in Rafah, saying a ground assault would be a humanitarian catastrophe. Nearly a year on from the outbreak of civil war in Sudan, the United Nations urges its warring factions to allow aid in, warning that 5 million people face catastrophic food insecurity. Vandalism arrests in Russia as voters spoil their ballots on day 2 of the country's presidential elections. Vladimir Putin is almost certain to win a further 6 years. His only serious rivals are dead, in prison, or in exile. Vaughan Gething has been elected as the next Welsh Labour leader and First Minister of Wales, the first black leader of any European country. In his acceptance speech, he said it marked a generational shift.
It's nights like these that make you wonder, where's he been all your life?
Oh, that's funny.
This is The Ford Show.
All right, that was your headlines in 60 seconds. Putin there with an easy walk-in victory. All of his competition is either dead or in exile.
That's one way to win an election.
That's
easy way in.
We do have Vegas's picks of the week coming up here. Vegas is give us a little teaser, Vegas.
Yeah, I'm going to do the Major League Baseball season starts tomorrow, 3 a.m. Pacific time. So madness, if you want to get up at 5 a.m. to watch the Dodgers in San Diego.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying. Is that 0300 hours or is that 05?
Correct.
600? Okay, thank you.
I didn't know because now 500.
I had to learn this whole new way of time now because of him. Yeah, because that's what we've been accustomed to for the last 40 years of our lives is this army time. Sorry to interrupt you, Joey Vegas. Continue on with your.
It's a hell of a teaser, Vegas. That's a hell of a teaser.
Yeah.
You guys, who's got a do both of you have mute buttons, or do you guys need Are you guys okay? You guys know how to use them?
Well, I mean, you were controlling them, so that's
okay.
That was that
mute button. Then you need me to mute you.
Well, I have one, but I was told you said don't mute it. I got it.
Okay, no, I was wondering because I keep hearing somebody like sniffle into the microphone and it's driving me nuts. So I want to talk about something real quick. Vegas, you're familiar with this. Last year, Vegas and I were doing Forded Vegas, the True Crime podcast, and we had joined this network of shows called the Darkcast Network. It's a network of other true crime podcasts. Vegas, you remember this?
I do. Yes, I do.
And it was run by a little bit of a weirdo person. Still don't even know to this day what their gender identity is, whether it's a whatever or a whatever. But we went on a little hiatus where I had 4 eye surgeries in 5 months, 6 months, maybe 5. How many? I can't even remember how many eye surgeries I had. Trying to add them all up.
Now, can you see? Can you see right now?
Yeah, I mean, I could see as much as I normally could. Yeah.
Oh, good.
So, yeah. So we weren't doing podcasts because I was recovering and then I kept having another surgery and another surgery and another surgery. So we weren't doing any shows and they kicked us off, right? They kicked us out of Darkcast Network because we weren't doing any shows. Fine, whatever. You kicked me out, sent me an email. We got with the board of directors. I'm like, okay, board of directors, and we decided that due to inactivity, we're kicking you out of the cool kids club. So I said, fine. Yeah, the board of directors, you guys all voted, so they kicked us out. Whatever, no big deal. So now that we were doing shows again, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna reach out and say, hey, and see if they'd be willing to, because they only kicked us out because we weren't doing any shows. So I thought, well, now that we're doing shows again, maybe they'll let us back in, and it's a nice little, I don't even know if it ever really even worked. Like if we ever got any real listenership or anything because we were in the network. I'm not even quite sure if it worked, but I was like, all right, let me see, let me reach out and see if they can, if they want to let us back in. So I go to find them on X, Twitter, and they blocked me. And I'm like, fucking block me for? So I don't, Vegas, any ideas on why they may have blocked me they kicked me out of the group because I'm not doing shows. They didn't kick me out because I'm abrasive and I said something offensive, which I'm surprised didn't happen. But they just kicked me out due to inactivity and then they block me. And I'm like, well, I want to be back in the group. And you assholes blocked me from the cool kids club. So I don't know. I don't know what happened.
I guess we're not going to rejoin the Darkcast Network, I guess.
No, I guess not. Maybe it's because they heard Madness was on the show and he doesn't use 24-hour clock. Maybe that was.
It's pretty much the reason they told me.
So last week on this show, I talked about the real American problem in this country is, is it familicide or is it familicide? How do you think it's pronounced?
Probably familicide. I don't know. We can Google it.
Can one of you Google it? I don't know if it's, I would think it's familicide, but the American media or the MSM, the mainstream media, will have you believe that this country has a mass shooting problem, right? Like that's generally the belief, generally the consensus with the mainstream media. And until somebody acknowledges the real problem, I'm going to go out of my way to continue to talk about the real problem. And the real problem is you being killed by somebody you know, not by a stranger. And I mentioned last week that there is a link that keeps track of and tallies every mass shooting and familicide in this country.
It is
okay,
familicide.
cool.
I just listened.
All right. Perfect. Familicide. So last week I didn't have the link. This week I have the link. And now I'm just going to show you guys this link and this breakdown. This is again, the proof is in the numbers and there is no denying it. Can you see that? Yeah, you guys can see that. That's perfect. All right. Oh, yeah, that's perfect right there. Yeah. So this is the mass killing database, revealing trends, details, and anguish of every U.S. event since 2006. This was updated yesterday at 2:14 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or as I like to call it, 1400 hours. So you'll see here 3,045 victims have lost their lives in 586 mass killings since 2006. So this is a whole thing. We don't need to necessarily go through all of this because you guys can find this. I'm going to link it in the description of this show. But here's where it gets interesting. This is public mass shootings are only a part of the story. This is the number of mass killings by year. And you have public, non-public, and other. So the public is this dark area right down here.
So that's mass shootings. That is literally like out at a mall or a school.
The public fatal shootings, yes.
Okay. And then private.
And this color right here is non-public fatal. So this is happening at a home.
These are domestics.
Yes, more like a domestic thing. And then this one is other mass killings.
What would qualify as other? What do you think? Like, what other kind of killings are there? If you're not mass shooting, if you're not doing it domestically, is it how else is there to kill someone?
Cases in which someone shoots strangers in a public place usually get the most attention, but fatal public shootings are a small fraction of all mass killings. There has been a spike in these types of killings over the past few years, but the rate of occurrence has remained relatively flat since the mid-2000s, especially considering the growth in the U.S. population over that time frame. A guy who kills his wife and children, and sometimes then kills himself, is the most common type of mass killing. Mass killings take place far more often in private homes than in schools, supermarkets, or churches. Now, this is a key little chart here. This one's easy to read. The number of mass killings by location type: residence or other shelter, 405. Commercial, retail, or entertainment, 59. It's not even close. They're not even in the same stratosphere.
Where's schools on that? I can't read it.
Right here, number 13. I mean, sorry, there's 13. There's 13 occurrences.
So that's what the media does to push their gun agenda. They cherry pick the one that'll tear at your heartstrings the most, and they push that to disarm, I should say, the public.
So here is this key one right here. I don't know if you guys can read it. Victims of mass killings are more likely to have been killed by someone they know. Even if, and this has happened even in my area, and I'm sure it's happened in everyone's area who's listening and or watching this show on YouTube at Radio Forward. Thank you very much. And at Radio Forward on Rumble right now, Rumble Live. Thank you very much. Even if somebody you know hunts you down at the grocery store, at the bar, at your job, you're getting killed in public, but you're still getting killed by someone you know. So go ahead.
I think so. What we're seeing here is, the reason we're showing this is because the mass shootings, particularly the school ones, get all of the attention. They get all of the glamorization in the news. And the question is why, right? So, like, if you think about it, you can't go and pull those numbers and show them that it's going to be, a domestic is your most, it's the fear they want to put in there. Everyone thinks whoever they live with is not going to kill them, I think. But I believe that, like, when you go to a parade or to a school or to a mall, you think about mass shooting. It just hits you differently. Does that make sense? It's easier to strike fear by broadcasting the whole mass shooter, the crazy person that just goes into a public place where you like to go. I think that's the agenda.
Well, excuse me. Damn. You also have to remember, even like Columbine, like these killers, like most of the people that died knew these kids. So I would assume if it's a school shooter and the shooter has went to that school and was currently in the school, a lot of people would know them. So I think that would include, that you know who they are.
So what does that fall under then? What are you saying? Are you saying that doesn't fall under?
No, That would still be people that you know.
But just the one that pops off in my head, that one trans, is that you can't say tranny anymore, right? Is that considered an offensive term? If I said the tranny that went and shot up that private school,
you can't say that.
Okay, so that's like a derogatory term.
Yeah,
most likely.
It's like calling me a cracker.
Yep,
close enough.
Okay, so I'd have to say transgender.
Yes,
the transgender person who went to, remember who I'm talking about?
I know the one you're talking about. They had the whole body cam on and it looked like a freaking video game and shit. And,
so that person went to that school that they went to and shot up that school, but they didn't know those kids. So that would just be considered like a school shooting. So this is the key part right here. This is another key thing that I really want to point out. And again, I'm going to have this link wherever you're watching or listening to this show. The link will be in the description for you to peruse this. It's very interesting. Now, I also want to preface that I am not in any way, shape, or form trying to undermine mass shootings in this country or make them sound like they're not important or make it sound like they're okay, because they're not. I feel like you should be able to go to the movie theater or you should be able to go to the grocery store in Buffalo and not have to worry about getting shot. Or you should be able to go to church and not have to worry about getting killed. My only issue is that when you get the media involved, there isn't enough national attention on the fact that we have a mental health problem in the household, in the family. So now, here's this next part. The number of mass killing victims by relationship to their killer. So 609, unknown. That's this little gray area right here. Stranger, 755. 755 people, as of yesterday, have been murdered since 2006 by a complete stranger. 42 of them have been murdered by a first responder. 42. So remember that the next time the cops are the problem. Now,
get me started on that one.
This one right here, acquaintance. So this is being killed by somebody you know. 781 victims. And that's nothing. If you go to the people that are your family, 858 people have died since 2006 by somebody they know. So if you add up family and acquaintance, that number becomes much larger than 755.
Now, I feel like these numbers are very low.
Oh,
maybe it's just the media that pushes this all the time. That makes me feel like more people than that have been murdered in the last 15 years. You put out there 17 years.
Here we go. This is a great line right here. This is great, and I'm going to read this. Guns surpassed car accidents as the leading cause of death for children and teenagers in 2020. Now, that is when Kamala Harris would stop her sentence and she would put a period on it. And then she would tell you that we have to do something for the kids. And then Sleepy Joe would have to get drugged up so that he could make a 9 o'clock State of the Union address so that he could tell you the same thing. But what they don't tell you is that the school security industry has grown into a $3.1 billion, that's with a B, billion dollars a year market. But our database shows that when it comes to mass killings, most children die at home. Now, should a kid be able to go to school and not worry about somebody barging through the door and blowing their head off? Yes. I'm not saying that they should have that fear, because they shouldn't. But they're more likely to get killed by their own parents. And that is really the problem. And I'm going to keep saying it, and I'm going to keep pounding my chest until somebody that's not on this show acknowledges it.
The real problem is that this website is readily available. That every time the president or vice president or somebody else comes on and says guns are the problem, we need more security in schools, blah blah blah, nobody ever checks for themselves. Ever. COVID, same thing. The president, whoever it is, doesn't matter, right wing, left wing, up wing, down wing, dark wing, doesn't matter. If they say it, that's what we take as gospel. Nobody can do independent thinking anymore, and that is the real problem with America.
That is actually the virus that's been protruding through this country for so long, and it's not even so much that, it's that people are so afraid to think for themselves that it's not just that when they encounter somebody who does and challenges what they see on the TV, that bursts their little comfort bubble and they lash out. And that's where the divisiveness comes in, because not only are they afraid to question anything or look for anything for themselves out of fear, if you start rattling that little safety bubble of theirs, they don't like that. They'll start, you'll feel them come at you. They get really upset. It's kind of like anybody, like I was explaining last week about the conspiracy theory, what they've done with that, and how they made everyone that's a conspiracy theorist look crazy. So that's all by design, in my opinion. But that's just my 2 cents.
And I'm going to wrap up this link, and then I'm going to try to get to, I got a story here, and then I got to get to Rage and Rob, even though I thought I loaded Rage and Rob in the mixer here, but I have 2 previouslys. So looks like I didn't load Raging Rob, so I'm about to do it the hard way. But this is a key thing right here as well, and I'm going to end it with this, because everyone, AR-15s. Oh, we got to put a ban on assault rifles. The most common gun used in mass killings is a handgun. Now you see here, long guns are right here. I guess maybe an AR-15 would be considered a long gun, but not even half. If it might just be half of the amount of handguns that get used in mass shootings, and not AR-15s. By the way, most killers are men. Go ahead.
Question on that data. Now, not that I'm agreeing with you and where your point is there, but I just want to make sure, was that data the amount of killings or the amount of shootings or the amount of killings?
This is types of guns used in mass killings.
Okay, because it's a big difference if those numbers that we're looking at there, if that is the actual instances versus the deaths, because I don't know, a mass shooting with a handgun of 3 people versus a AR-15 that kills 18, that's different. So I just want to make sure that the data isn't skewed in that sense. Not that I'm defending it. I'm a very objective person, so I want to make sure that it's not skewed here.
Does anybody here own a gun?
I do.
Okay. I know Vegas doesn't. I don't. Men who own handguns are almost 8 times more likely to die of gun suicides than men who don't, according to a California study published in 2021 by the New England Journal of Medicine that examined more than 25 million gun owners. Women were 35 times more likely to commit suicide if they own a handgun. Most mass killers are men. Figure that out. That's a no-brainer. And then most 25 to 29-year-olds are the ones that are doing the mass shooting. So, again, I'm going to post this link in the show description so that you all can check it out. And with all that being said, I'm going to leave you with this one before we get to Rage and Rob's Music Minute. A Texas mother and her 3-year-old son believed to be found in a ditch. Guess what? Murder-suicide. That's right. A possible murder-suicide is under investigation after 2 bodies found in a ditch in Texas were tentatively identified as a missing 32-year-old mother and her 3-year-old son, Savannah Samantha Krieger, and her son, Caden, may have been found in a ditch near Tom Slick Park in San Antonio. Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar said Tuesday during a news conference. The 2 were reported missing on Monday after Krieger was last seen leaving her job early to pick her son up from daycare for a doctor's appointment. Authorities later found her white 2023 Lincoln Aviator abandoned at Tom Slick Park. Salazar said a welfare check was attempted at the Krieger home around 6:30 on Monday night. but they could not enter. Later that evening, the sheriff's office contacted a family member who finally let them inside. I won't go too much into detail on what was found, but they did find some things that led us to believe there's certainly cause for concern for the child as well as Savannah, Salazar said. Sheriff's deputies searched throughout the night for Krieger and her son until ultimately only finding the missing white Lincoln Aviator. Although the deputies recovered the SUV, they could not find Krieger or Caden. The search resumed on Tuesday, which is today, at daybreak, and that is when deputies and park police found two bodies in the ditch within a draining easement located off the backside of the park. We're operating on the premise that this is Savannah and the child. It appears that there's some evidence that there may have been some gunshots fired, but again, at this point, it's too early to give anything beyond tentative identification. In addition to the bodies, deputies found a gun at the scene. Savannah Krieger is considered the only suspect. The sheriff's office is considering Krieger to be the only suspect. A custody battle between Krieger and Caden's father was ongoing, with a hearing scheduled to take place, get this, on Tuesday. Krieger's and Caden's whereabouts became worrying to family members who could not contact them. The phone was going straight to voicemail, and their location services were turned off. She's smart. So there you go. Another familicide. This time, a mother and her 3-year-old son. Again, anybody want to stop me when I think we have a different problem in this country? I will stop talking about familicides. But until then, it's my war that I will rage with everybody. Here's Rage and Rob.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program to bring you a special bulletin.
Listen up. It's time for Ragin' Rob's Music Minute.
You do want to be a part of that, don't you?
Yeah.
Top of the morning to you, lads and lasses. Let's get into Rage and Rob's Music Minute. Old people who just can't take the heat. John the Cougar Mellencamp was heckled at a recent show. Apparently he was trying to tell a story. Concert goers were heckling him, saying just play music. He became angry and irate for being interrupted during the show. He started to play his famous Jack and Diane and cut it in the middle and walked off stage. What a bitter old man. Bruno Mars is in the news on speculation that he owes MGM Grand Casino $50 million in gambling debt. The casino denies the allegations, but Mars has been in a residency at the casino in Vegas since 2016. Wow, $50 million, Bruno. I don't know if you're that stupid, but hey, the casino denies it, so we wish him well. Also, Lollapalooza has been announced in Chicago. It used to be a long-standing tour across the country. It now only happens in Chicago because the lineup generally sucks. And this year is really another disappointment. The Killers, Za, Tyler the Creator, Deftones, Blink-182 are just a few of the main headliners, the main goers. It's going to be overpriced. I've never been to Lollapalooza in Chicago. I'm not going to go this year because the lineup sucks. All right, and that has been your Music Minute. Fucking rage!
The best of him dripped down his dad's leg.
Oh, God, I think I'm going to barf.
This is The Fort Show.
All right, that was Rage and Rob from a stockyard, it sounded like.
Yeah, something.
He was working hard. He was working hard. I had to do some editing on that because for some reason the beginning of the original clip was and like his audio was like sped up, and I texted him, I was like, Rage and Rob, you got to listen to that. Oh yeah, it's like that on my end too. I'm like, oh fuck it, I'll just edit it. It's fine. He goes, yeah, and I didn't realize you could hear the forklifts in the background. I go, yeah, it's Rage and Rob from the stockyard. So thank you, Rob, for that music minute. Madness, you're a big concert guy. You going to Lala?
I will not be at Lollapalooza. I have been there 2 times, and the last one was just not my thing. And no, I will not be there. It's amateur hour, and no, not going to happen.
So, New Hampshire is the first state that has charged a person with murder in the death of a fetus. So, I guess you can only get charged with murder if you're killing a fetus that's not in your stomach. But if it's in somebody else's stomach, it's murder. If it's in yours, it's just called being responsible. A New Hampshire man appeared in court Monday on charges that he killed the pregnant woman and her unborn child by means of multiple blunt force injuries. It's the first time that the state has charged someone with murder in the death of a fetus. William Kelly, 28, appeared in Carroll County Superior Court. He did not address the judge. Smith told that she planned to file paperwork that Kelly was waiving his arraignment and pleading not guilty. The legislator bill that passed in 2017 defines a fetus as 20 weeks of development and beyond as a person of purposes of criminal prosecution of murder. Republican Governor Chris Sununu signed the bill into law. It took effect in 2018. Kelly's case is the first time the state had charged someone with the murder in the death of a fetus. Kelly was indicted by a Carroll County grand jury on Friday on 2 counts of second-degree murder. He recklessly caused the deaths of Falzone and her fetus. Lawyers said they were waiting for forensic test results. They agreed to schedule a hearing in June and a potential trial date for 2025. Kelly's being held without bail, has several criminal convictions, basically the scum of the earth. But I bring this up because this is very interesting. You could be charged in New Hampshire. This might only be a New Hampshire thing. But now that this kind of is something that actually has taken place, could we see more states charge people a murder count if you kill a pregnant woman?
I thought this was already a thing. I don't think this is new.
No, it is a thing. But I don't know.
In every state?
I mean, I don't know about every state. Obviously not, because this just got passed in 2018.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I assumed, now I don't know because like California, I mean, you could get an abortion at, 35, 40 weeks, whatever.
Hey, get that thing out of me.
I don't know, but
is that really true? You could do that late?
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's the new abortion clinic. You rape them, we scrape them. No fetus can beat us.
Yep, pretty much.
So 38 U.S. states currently treat the murder of a pregnant woman as a double homicide, and the majority of these states allow for legal abortions. Why are the unborn treated as people with rights for purposes of murder, but not for abortion? That was on Cura. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What's the week number that you can get an abortion up to? Because if you can get an abortion past week 20, isn't that technically a murder? I don't know if you can or not. I've never aborted.
I think the law is very hypocritical. In my opinion, I think that doesn't make any sense. I guess the reason they're giving is because, I don't know, there must be some reasoning because it's the mother of the child making the decision to do so, not just some random shooting or strangling of the sort.
Well, what I would ask is if you kill the fetus without killing the mother. Like, obviously the mother died in this case. So, but like if you stab, let's just say you stab the stomach and it stabs the fetus and the fetus dies, but the mother somehow survives. I don't even know if that's possible, but I assume it is possible because it might be rare, but then can you be charged with the fetus's death? Because if that's the case, then I would assume that the law would, if the mother aborts the fetus, aka kills it, then they should be charged with murder.
Okay, so I have the answer from Planned Parenthood.
Oh, that's going to be a biased answer. But go ahead.
Well, no, this is how long you can get an abortion. That's what I want to know. How late can you get an abortion? You can, take it easy. It's going to be very biased. Yes. I know there's going to be people right now. There's people right now listening because I know most of our listeners are women. And there's going to be women listening right now that are like, who the fuck are you? It's my body. Listen, I don't care if you get an abortion. I don't give a fuck. I probably should have had an abortion. Okay. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. It's the one thing I don't care about. You can use abortion pills, also called medication abortion, up to 77 days or 11 weeks after the first day of your last period. You can get an in-clinic abortion until 24 weeks or later, in some cases, for medical reasons. But most abortions happen early in pregnancy, and it can be hard in some places to find an abortion provider who can do an in-clinic abortion after or around 12 weeks into pregnancy. So Planned Parenthood says you can get that thing out of there. Little, I don't know how they do it. They suck it out with a vacuum cleaner. They pull it out with a wire hanger. I don't know how they do it.
I don't know if I could do that. I don't know how people do that. Like
24 weeks.
Now look, I'm not going to say right now. I actually say, because I don't like the government in my business or anyone's business, pro-choice is fine for me. But I really do believe no matter what you're doing, you are interfering in the process of the creation of life. So, I mean, do it, but it's killing something.
Yeah. If exactly. And I don't want to, because we are just a bunch of men on this thing, right? And I don't want women to just be completely brutally offended, because every woman left us, we'd be in deep shit, right? But I'm just telling you, I don't care if you get an abortion. I don't care if you do. I don't care if you don't, right? But let's just be honest. If you're going to do it, at least be honest. You're killing the kid, and that's fine. Again, I don't care if you do.
Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that it takes two to produce a child? And I mean, maybe some far left out there would tell you otherwise. But you ever think that it is sort of like the dads get no right? They get like no say. Like, I get it. Okay. I get it that, hey, the woman does all the bodily changes happen, all of that, the work, the labor, everything, the risk, it all is there on the woman. So I get that part. But that is also the living heartbeat of the dad's kid. Like, just like no say at all. And if there are any women listening and want to tell me what's up with what they think about that, at MFS Wellness, Instagram or X. But I'm just curious, not saying I'm even right, but sometimes I think that's kind of a no rights in itself to your own, potential child.
So
what do you say?
I'll answer first, and then we'll let Vegas go, who has a couple of children out of wedlock. I'll go first. I'll just tell you this. I think it is fully up to the woman. If she wants to go to get a shmishmorshman at the shmishmorshman clinic, go right ahead. The man's got no say because it's not his body. It is his kid, but it's not his body. And if he wants to have his own children, he can. He just needs to become a Democrat. But in this case, to answer your question, no, the man doesn't have a choice. I'm sorry, but he doesn't. He doesn't have a choice. It's her body. It's her decision. If she decides to get an abortion, you, my man, you, my brother, should have picked a better woman to knock up. There.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Well, you're wrong, but it's okay.
Yeah,
but
you can't be wrong. It's an opinion.
No, you are, because the only way that it makes it right is if the woman can decide at her own free will, and the man has no rights to get rid of that baby. Then if the man doesn't want the baby and the woman says, no, I'm keeping it, then the man does not have to pay child support. That is the only way that it makes it right.
Well,
because I don't care. I don't care if you're a woman and you're going to come on and give me shit. Fine. I don't care. But if you're going to kill a human being because you fucked up and fuck some guy. Now, medical emergencies and different are totally separate. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the wide range of abortions where some skank goes and has sex with 40 guys and gets pregnant and says, oh, well, I can't have a kid because my lifestyle, and has 7 abortions. those people deserve to get shot and put out to pasture if you're getting 7 abortions. But the guy doesn't have to pay child support if the woman decides, I'm going to keep the baby, if the guy has no rights in determining if the woman keeps the baby or not. And don't tell me that...
there would be no child support then in that case.
Well, yeah, don't tell me that the woman has all the rights to get an abortion and it's her body, her choice, which is fine, but then the man doesn't have to pay child support if he's like, I don't want the kid.
So does he have to sign a waiver that says, I don't want the kid? Like, how does he get off?
No, she signs it. She says, I'm going to abort the kid. Or if she's like, I want the kid, she has to say, okay, well, I don't get any child support.
This is hilarious. This is the podcast of women's dreams right here. 3 men, 2 of which are not even fathers, all talking about what's right in abortion.
Hey, I'm a step technically, but no, I don't have him.
I don't care about abortion. My feelings on abortion are irrelevant, but I'm just saying I
understand your thought.
In the grasp of if the woman has all the rights and it's her body, her choice.
Correct.
Okay. Well, where does the man have a choice to say, okay, well, you had the kid, but I'm not going to pay you child support?
As long as the man doesn't throw her down a flight of stairs when he says, I don't want you to have that baby. And she goes, well, I'm having it, as long as you're committing crimes, but I understand your point, Vegas. That's a valid, you are defending all of men right there on that one, especially men who don't want to pay. And I'll let you figure out which men don't want to pay. So that's very good, Vegas. All right. Madness has some stuff for us. He's got some law stuff for us. Stand by.
He swears he's not on the spectrum.
You big dummy.
But we think he's lying. This is The Ford Show.
That's you, Madness.
Oh, hello, everybody. Okay, gotcha.
I was going to let you go. I didn't realize.
I was waiting for you to say something. I'm just like.
In fact, this is The Ford Show. We're live right now on Rumble.
Yeah.
If you're listening on the podcast, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You can watch the show on Spotify. You can watch the show on YouTube. You can watch the show on Rumble at Radio Ford. And if you're listening on Apple, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. New hat merch coming next week. Madness has some creative laws. Now, how many of these are you doing?
I have 50, but I'll go through 10. I'll go through 10 of them, and we'll just
10 for the next 5 weeks.
That's what I was going to do. We'll see how this goes, and we'll see how we're received. But I have found this from.
And then after this, we have a solved cold case that I think even curtain-headed Mr. Perfect would be proud of.
Oh, interesting.
Little hint there.
So
Go ahead.
This is from goodhousekeeping.com. This is only about a couple of years old, so these laws may very well still be in effect by state. All right, so number 1, some of these are pretty out there. Some of them are not pretty obvious. But in Alabama, it is illegal to drive blindfolded. I'm sure we can probably think that's a very normal, good law.
Yeah, that should be a law everywhere else, too.
Yeah, it should be. In Alaska, you can't put an animal in the back of an open vehicle. So that seems like another logical one, but it gets a little stranger here.
Oh, no, because that would imply that you couldn't put a dog in the back of a pickup truck, which you see that shit all the time.
I mean, you probably shouldn't put a dog in the back of a pickup truck or any animal, really, I don't think. I mean, it's probably pretty terrifying.
They do it in the South.
Well, they do a lot of different shit in the South, but hey. Number 3, in Arizona, it's illegal for a donkey to sleep in a bathtub. So, Joey Vegas, you cannot go to Arizona because your donkey will not be able to sleep in your bathtub like he is right now. Because I know there's a donkey sleeping in your bathtub right now.
Oh, he's in there.
I know. I heard him. Okay. Number 4, in Arkansas, you can't honk your horn near a sandwich shop after 9 p.m. So
I'm going there. I'm catching the midnight flight out to Arkansas, and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to videotape it.
How does it even become a thing? I don't get it.
I don't understand, but it's a thing. And can you imagine the cop just sitting outside of a sandwich shop waiting for someone to honk his horn at, what is that, 1900 hours or whatever the fuck?
Whoop, whoop,
you see, this article doesn't use your military bullshit time.
2100 hours for 9 o'clock.
Whatever.
Much.
Yeah. All right, number 5. In California, where you guys are, here's a law for you. Joey Vegas, listen. It's illegal to whistle for a lost canary after 7 a.m. So
6:59, you're good.
So you're fucked. So Joey, those canary whistling classes you took last week, not good for you. You got to be up pretty fucking early if you want to find that canary, buddy. Well, I know you put out that GoFundMe for your lost canary business, but
it was a peacock.
Well, I think there's other cocks that are more of your concern. Number 6, in Colorado, it's illegal to keep a couch on your porch. That doesn't seem very fair to anyone. Like, who kind of a miserable fuck would make that kind of a law? Like, you know what? There's a couch on that porch. I don't like it. It's illegal now. You can go get ticketed for that. It's in Boulder, busted University of Colorado for burning couches, causing a law to go into effect. It keeps couches and porches mutually exclusive. This law is currently active, but the verdict is still out as to whether it actually prevented any couch bonfires. Some of these do give a little bit of a backup. I should probably read those, huh?
That law did not pass. That law would not get passed in the South, where they will always have couches on the front porch
all the time. In Connecticut, a pickle must be able to bounce. It's a law that puts Connecticut farmers in quite of a pickle. In 1948, 2 men were arrested for selling pickles that were unfit for human consumption. Discussing ways to check for good pickles, officials declared that a pickle is legitimate only if it bounces. The pickles in question did not bounce, so the 2 men were arrested and fined, and the pickles were destroyed.
No, we should try this as a bit for the show. We should try bouncing pickles.
Now, see if the pickles bounce, and then you can go and report that. But anyways, I don't understand. I was going to go back and read the canary one, but I think I'm just going to press on here. Number 8, in Delaware, you can't sell dog hair. So, Ford, your dog hair business with your wife, you guys are putting together,
Yeah, I'll throw out the business plan.
So that's kind of sucks if you're like a groomer or some shit. Like, I mean, if there's a market for dog hair, like in Delaware, you're fucked because you can't sell the dog hair. So, you're really putting those groomers out for some financial woes, I'd say. Number 9, in Florida, legal parking fees towards animals must be paid, which I guess means that if you ride an animal somewhere and park it, you have to pay a fine if you parked it illegally.
In a handicapped spot, your horse
with like your elephant or something.
Or the expected mother parking.
There you go. Going to get her abortion. Number 10, in Georgia, it's illegal to live on a boat for more than 30 days. Now, who the fuck would make that a law? What kind of miserable fuck? This is some politician that was very jealous of some other politician's yacht and thought that he was out to sea far too long. Therefore, he did. Let me see if I get any further explanation on that. Oh, buoy, it says. Yeah, buoy. If you're planning to retire on a boat, the Peach State, Georgia, is definitely not the place for you. According to state law, it is prohibited to live on a boat for more than a month. It doesn't give any more background to that. So why would somebody, other than why I said out of pure jealousy, hatred, and spite, why would somebody go ahead and ban something like this, Joey Vegas? I want to know what you think. Why?
It's very dangerous to live on a boat, I guess. But not a ship. I wonder if you could have a ship. If you have a yacht that is considered a ship, is a ship the same thing as a boat?
I'm not sure how I don't know what size the vessel must be to be called a ship or other than a boat. But anyways, those are my 10 laws for this week.
Everybody say tweet, tweet, tweet.
I turn off Disney radio to listen to The Ford Show.
Disney's got to be going nuts. This is The Ford Show.
All right, so I want to do our solved cold case of the week that we always like to end the show on, and then we'll do Vegas's picks of the week here, and then we're out of here. In Oregon, it's Oregon Trail, right? But the state's called Oregon.
The Oregon Trail.
Or is it the Oregon Trail?
I don't think it's ever been Oregon.
Okay.
I think we just say it like that because we're...
So is it Oregon?
I don't know. You're the one process, and army time. Fucking, you figure it out, Mister. I say these words specifically because I need to be different than everybody else in my fucking country because I wish I lived somewhere else, but I can't afford to fucking move there.
Why do you got to be getting hot about it?
Wow,
I'm not mad. I'm fine. I just wanted to go off on him a little bit.
All right. So an Oregon man has been found guilty of murdering a college student in 1980 after he was linked to the case decades later by DNA, genetic genealogy, and chewing gum that he discarded. That's right. He did the Mr. Perfect. He spat the gum out of the air and he whacked it with his hand right after he killed this woman. And now he got himself caught up. Robert Plimpton, which I have his photo. I have his photo here. Let me get his photo up. This guy looks like a real treat. Here he comes right here. This is Robert Plimpton. There he is.
Raging Robert.
There he is. Raging Robert Plimpton. Plimpton.
He looks like a Plimpton. Like if you literally said the word Plimpton, that's exactly what comes to my head. Like exact. There's no. I wouldn't change a thing about him.
I wouldn't call him Robert either. I would constantly just his name would be Plimpton, like I call Vegas.
You call him Plimp. Plimp for short. Look at him. He looks like a Plimp.
He's 60 years old.
He's like a fucking Plimple.
If you're not watching this show right now on YouTube or on Spotify, you're missing Raging Robert Plimpton.
He looks good for 60.
He was found.
What are you hitting on him?
I'm just saying.
He looks hot.
I didn't say hot. I said he looks good for 60.
You said he looks hot.
Inmates.com. You could write to him, probably Vegas. Raging Robert Plimpton. He's 60. Was found guilty of one count of first-degree murder in the death of Barbara Mae Tucker, who was a 19-year-old student at Mountain Hood Community College when she was kidnapped, sexually assaulted, and beaten to death near her campus 4 decades ago. She suffered the same fate pretty much as Lake and Riley. For years, no one knew who killed her. She was killed on January 15, 1980. None of us on this show were even alive. Her body was found the following morning in a wooded area between That's Gotta Be Kane Road and a school parking lot in Gresham, Oregon, or Oregon. We don't quite know. By students arriving for class. That's great. The students found her body. That's lovely. While her case was cold for years, investigators gave the case a fresh look with advances in DNA technology. In 2000, DNA swabs taken during her autopsy were sent to the Oregon State Police Crime Lab for analysis, and a DNA profile was made from the swabs. Then in 2021, a genealogist from Parabon Nanolabs identified Raging Robert Plimpton as the likely contributor to the unknown DNA profile developed in 2000.
Hey, Big Plimpton spending G's. Big Plimpton on BLADs.
Big Plimpton here. Gresham police in Gresham found that Plimpton was living in Troutdale and began to put him under surveillance. When they observed him spit out a piece of chewing gum onto the ground, just like this, detectives collected the gum and submitted it to the crime lab for analysis. The crime lab determined the DNA profile developed from the chewing gum matched the DNA profile developed from Tucker's 2000 DNA swabs. Plimpton was ultimately arrested on June 8, 2021. He had pleaded, of course, not guilty to the charges of murder. Some kind of county, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, County Chief Deputy District Attorney Kristen Snowden previously said that there was no evidence that Tucker and Plimpton knew each other. Following a bench trial from February 26 to March 15, Judge Amy Baggio found Plimpton guilty of murder and 4 counts of different theories of murder in the second degree. Though the medical examiner determined Tucker had been sexually assaulted, of course, Plimpton was not convicted of rape, although he should have been, or sexual abuse, which he should have been, because prosecutors failed to prove beyond a reasonable doubt it happened while she was alive. That is sick. So there you go. Raging Robert Plimpton.
The Goodyear Plimp.
Something tells me he looked like this in 1980.
I don't know, but you got to take this guy's face off the screen here. I'm getting fucking worried.
All right.
Jesus.
What are you getting worried about?
I don't know. With that face staring at me for the better half of 5 minutes, my God.
I want to hold them like they do in Texas plays.
Gambling problem? Let Joey Vegas help you become a winner.
I can't lose.
Here's Vegas's picks for the week.
I'm going to put my nuts on the table.
All right, don't forget to subscribe to the show on YouTube, Twitter at Radio Ford, not Twitter, YouTube, Rumble at Radio Ford, and patreon.com/Radio Ford if you want to help the show out, $3 a month. Or you could do a one-time donation, and why don't you slide us a little 5 spot at Radio Ford on Venmo. All right, Vegas, here's your Vegas's picks, and then we'll get on out of here because we are a little over our normal time. The
Way overtime.
The Ford shows actually used to going 2 hours. So an hour and 10, not that different from normal Ford shows. But go ahead, Vegas.
Overtime. Anyway, so I'm going to do the Major League Baseball division winners. All right. Because,
fuck it.
Yeah, we're doing it live. We're swearing. We're having a good time.
That's damn right.
Yeah. So the baseball season, if you don't know, like I said earlier, starts at 3 a.m. Pacific in South Korea. Dodgers, Padres. So what I wanted to take a look at is the division winners this year. So the first division that I have, American League East, the one that Ford is excited about because his Yankees are in this division. However, the Yankees, they are favorite to win the division, but the Baltimore Orioles are the exact same odds as the Yankees to win this division at plus 185. So for you people that don't know what that means you have to risk if you risk $100, you win $185. So you cash out $285. With this division, the Tampa Bay Rays are plus 550. I think they lost too much pitching. Red Sox, Ford will love this. They're plus 1,700, so they really have no shot to win the division. I'm going to go with the Orioles to finally win this division because I think that plus 185, it's not bad odds for them. We're going to go with them.
Bucket.
Can I react with sound clips to all of your picks?
Sure.
Okay, so that's what you get for going against the Yankees?
Rusty cunt bucket.
There you go.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
All right, go ahead.
Next division, American League Central. It's where my White Sox play. They're plus 4,000. They have no shot to win the division.
Sucks.
Yeah, they do suck. They have no shot to win the division. If they do win the division, and somebody actually bet them, it is worth a couple shekels to put down because if you put 100, you will win $4,000. So why not? But the Minnesota Twins are minus 115. They are the heavy favorite. Detroit's plus 350. Guardians also plus 350. Royals plus 850. God, I hate all these teams so much. I just hope I would go with the Royals just so the Twins or the Guardians don't win. So bet KC plus 850. The next is the cheating division, also the home of the last year's World Series champs, Texas Rangers. Houston Astros minus 110, Texas Rangers plus 230. So the reigning World Series champions are not getting any love to win this division. Houston Astros, again, are the favorite. Can we stop with the Houston Astros? Jesus Christ. They cheated. They didn't get any repercussions, and somehow they win. Oakland Athletics, the farthest odds ever, plus 25,000. So, Ford, please put $100 on the Athletics. So if they somehow win the division, you get $25,000. But I'm going to go with I'm going to go with the Texas Rangers because I hate the Astros, and why not? They won the World Series last year. They can do it again. Now we're going to the National League. The three divisions here: National League East, Atlanta Braves minus 240. They are the heavy favorite. Philadelphia Phillies plus 310, Mets plus 1,200, Marlins plus 1,700, and the lonely Washington Nationals plus 10,000. I'm going to go with Atlanta here. I think they Strider, I think, is going to be outstanding this year. Unfortunately, I didn't get him on my fantasy baseball team because Ford did. He's a jackass. But Atlanta minus 240. which also means, because this is our first negative, you have to bet $240 to win 100. So they're heavily favored. The worst division in baseball, National League Central, because the Cubs are in there, they're actually favored at plus 185 to win that division. How? I don't know. But I think the Cardinals are going to win the division. Plus 190, because fuck the Cubs. The last one here, the National League West. I mean, as you can guess, the Dodgers, Mr. $1 billion deferred salary. Shohei Ohtani will not be pitching for them this year, but he is going to be DHing. Minus 450. Stay as far away from that as possible because they are not going to win the division. You're going to tell me, well, the San Francisco Giants and the Diamondbacks are both plus 1,000, and San Diego's plus 1,100. Colorado, no chance, plus 20,000. But I think the Padres lost a lot. Juan Soto going to the Yankees. Again, fuck the Yankees. I would not go with Padres. If I was going to, I could see Arizona or San Francisco winning the division. San Francisco just got Snell, reigning Cy Young Award winner, and I just can't stand the Dodgers. So San Francisco plus 1,000 is my pick there. Those are the picks. If California would legalize betting, I could bet them, but they won't, and they can't, so fuck California. Ford, back to you.
Prepare yourself.
Okay, let's go.
Thank you for that, Vegas. Yeah, I can. I just got a new connection with a bookie, so let me know, and we'll get accounts opened up. All right, I want to leave you with this. 2 things about ages. Scientists have found that old age begins at what number, Madness? How old are you when old age begins? This is what happens. Mental powers start to decline. At what age?
I'd say, let's just say 57.
Okay. Vegas?
Ford loves playing that clip.
Yep.
I'm going to go with 42.
It'll surprise you. It's actually 27. And lastly, people begin to turn grumpy at this age. Madness? This is science, by the way. Science!
What do you got?
People begin to turn grumpy at this age. The first one was 27 is when you begin to lose your mental powers. Old
38.
age.
38.
38. Vegas?
Well, I've been grumpy for years, and I just turned 40, so I'm going to say 25.
You know that movie Grumpy Old Men?
Mm-hmm. Great flick.
52 is the actual number when you start to, hey, kids, get off my lawn.
I'm way ahead of things.
Yeah.
You can follow me both. You could follow me on X. Back in the day when I used to say it was on X, it was a different kind of experience. It's also Twitter at Ford Talks a Lot. Vegas is on X at Joey S. Vegas, and the S doesn't stand for shithead. And Madness is on X and Instagram at MFS Wellness. He will also get your fat ass into shape. So reach out to him and he'll hook you up. Just tell him that the Ford Show sent you. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Rumble, at Radio Ford in both places, patreon.com/Radio Ford. If you want to be a subscriber to the show and support us financially, $3 gets you in, $5 gets you a picture of Joey Vegas's penis and balls. And if you just want to slide us some $5, maybe $10, maybe $20 to buy a little pizza, you could do so at Radio Ford on Venmo. For Madness, for Vegas, I'm Ford, and we'll see you guys next week right here on The Ford Show.
See ya!